at my first go. A lot of people didn't believe it was my first time. But there's that's just the thing about me as well. I'm hard on myself. I'm my biggest critic. So
Likewise.
isn't an option. And whether or not I know what I'm doing, I'm gonna do the best
You have to find a way to do it.
True.
Because guess what? Me can't make them have nothing to talk about me, and me can't make them say, "Watch her, you know, me tell her so she not belong."
Hi guys, this is Marsha and Andre, and today we have the lovely Miss Tasha K. Miller. Hi, what's up?
Hi guys.
Thanks for coming on the program. So today we just want you to be yourself and just share a little bit about you. So I just want you to give us a little synopsis about who you are and what you're doing.
Okay, who am I? So my name is Tasha Gay Miller. Currently, I work in media. I'm a news anchor slash producer. I'm in journalism. I work for Scene TV. That's a part of Sports Max. And safe to say that's my day job. I love it. I'm growing in it. But if I'm being fair, I would have to introduce myself as well as TKepiphany, because that's where my creative side comes. And so I'm both persons. Both persons are one. This is me.
All right. Thank you so much. Short and spicy. So you basically just told us a little bit about yourself, what you're doing now, but we'd like to know what it was like growing up as little Tasha.
That's a lot of different things in one. But if I can take you back to before I was like 10, because I feel like life kind of took a different turn.
Okay.
Growing up, I like to read. To this day, I cannot ride a bicycle. I never used to run up and down outside. I was always inside. I grew up with my little sister. We're 2 years apart, so we kind of just, we were very close growing up. And for the most part, growing up was very, family oriented. Things seemed great. Like I said, when I got to age 10, I think a lot of things changed for me. And so I don't think it would be fair for me to just say, oh, it was a glorious childhood, because that's where the challenges started for me, really.
Okay. Okay, so do you mind sharing a little bit in regards to those challenges?
Sure. Another thing you guys should know about me, I talk a lot, so you're going to have to stop me.
Feel free.
It's fine. This is the program for you to talk a lot, yeah.
So just to sum it all up, because like I said, it's a lot of different things. At age 10, so growing up, my mom had me when she was very young. My mom was at least 15 when she had me.
Wow.
So she was a baby having a baby. So my grandparents were very, supportive. Mostly, you could say my grandparents were my parents. And so for most of my life, up until age 10, I lived with my mom, my grandma, and that was the situation. Fast forward, came home from school one day, saw bags packed and everything. And my mom was just telling, I didn't even get through the gate to go inside. I grew up in country, by the way. I grew up in Utrius. They don't say it's country, but
Ochi?
Third city, right?
Tourist area.
And it wasn't so touristy. I mean, yes, it was happening, but I was very much inside. So I don't know about what was going on the outside. So I walked home from school, came home, and I just made a U-turn. And that U-turn, I think, is synonymous with a lot of different things that happened from that on. A whole different change. We went to live with my mom's in-laws. And as a stepchild, experience was different. The love that I grew up with,
wasn't the same.
I grew up knowing those things slowly faded away. My mom was there, but I was in a new environment where I felt I didn't belong.
Out of place.
So and I feel like that I could mirror that in my life now, because a lot of different times throughout my journey, I was in different places where I just felt like I didn't really belong. So so my life changed from that to the point where my biggest prayer was I was doing GSAT. I wanted to pass for a far school, so I could go to boarding school.
Yeah.
Nice escape. I wanted to get away. And my dream came true. I passed for Knox, which is in Spalding. I don't know if you guys.
Okay.
Yeah, I know Knox College.
Okay.
So I went to Knox, and that's when another whole aspect of my life started as well. I was in boarding school. I ended up not boarding, and without getting too much into that because I don't really want to get anyone else in trouble or involved. But I
Understood.
experience where I was at school, but I wasn't as
active or
I didn't have a childhood. I didn't have the typical, you have your little boyfriend, your little friends and whatever. I went to school and I went home. Went to a boarding home where I was.
so you weren't boarding on campus, you were boarding with like a home.
Okay.
My family trusted and was staying with, but a lot of different things happened in that household, and at the end of it, I was forced to change schools. I had to start all over again. So I went through different stages of starting over. I didn't see myself getting through that point because I was in a new school where the basis of me starting that school was basically, you can't tell these girls, because I went to Westwood. You can't tell these girls.
Westwood.
Good school.
Yeah, it is. You can't tell the girls why you're here, and that's the only way you'll be allowed to come to this school. And so, imagine being a teenager and having to have this major secret, and you're trying to go through school. I had counseling at least twice a week, and I couldn't tell them what it was. So girls asked me,
where you going to counseling? Because you go to all girls schools. I went to all girls school too, so they're very nosy and they want to pry in your business. Yeah.
It's hard for you not to tell them, because as a teenager you kind of feel alone and you want to have friends and you feel like
want to share.
You want to share what's happening with you. But I had to be very strong. Throughout my high school years, or the last 3 years, I had 2 close friends, really and truly, that I kept close to me. It was really a power struggle. It was a struggle being there. As a teenager, I used to cut myself. I've been writing ever since that time, though. I used to write in my journal.
Your outlet.
Writing has always been my outlet. Even when I was younger, I used to sit underneath the pimento tree and write in my little book.
Right.
Yeah, always writing. My mom she showed me several books that I had that she had under the bed, where she showed me that I've always been writing. So I used to write a lot. My writing became during that time. And that took me through high school. That's what took me through. Comforted me and took me through that period in my life. Getting out of high school, coming out to the big world. I went to college. I went to UA. Didn't finish school.
Pelicans.
Yeah.
Hoi.
I started my degree in literature. I wasn't able to complete my degree. There's a lot of different things happening as well. At this point, I was living with my dad. And initially, I wanted to go overseas to continue my studies, and he was all for it. I did everything I was supposed to do, got accepted into a school, and then last minute, he was just, And I'll share something my dad said to me, and at the time, I was feeling very upset about it. I felt like, how does a father say that to their child? But my father basically told me that he was tired. He told me that all his life, he was taking care of me, and he was now tired. But remember, my parents had me as kids. So as a teenager, hearing that you're upset, but as an adult, when I look back on that stage, even though you're a parent, you came into this, but they weren't as lucky. They didn't plan anything. They didn't have trust fund set up. They didn't have anything. They were kids. They were basically trying to figure out life. Here comes a baby. And so my dad and I, we don't have a good relationship right now for different, but that stuck with me. And still, it didn't deter me. During that time, I ended up taking out student loans. I don't recommend anybody taking
SLB.
I took student loan and I paid that off in like 3 years. I was like,
kudos to you, Marsha. Kudos.
No. It's not to brag or anything, but for me, it was like, okay, I got an opportunity to live in Japan, and I'm not going to be sitting in Jamaica and complain about student loan. I'm going to go where the money resides. So that's where I went. and I use the time and I paid off my student loan. I know a lot of persons, they're like, oh, I
Don't
love
have the
to pay.
opportunity.
It's not that they don't have the opportunity. They're not willing to take the risk to go abroad. Some of them,
But not everybody has the chance to go abroad, though, Marsha. So,
Andre, I didn't deny that. What I'm trying to say is I have people who are in similar positions as I was that told me, yeah, go Japan, what kind of full country? America and Canada and England, Moango, because that's the vision. Because in a Jamaican eyes, that's big foreign, right? So that's where they wanted to go. And I was like, hey, I'm getting this lovely opportunity to go to Japan. And I work my butt off and I pay off student loan. No student loan can call my name. So,
Well,
not to cut
that's
you.
major accomplishment. But yeah, I did student loans. I started, but I didn't complete it. But I have resumed and I'm doing my thing now. So it was
Okay.
I have to finish by all means. But it just goes to show you that there were different areas and different things happening in my life that could have easily deterred.
deterred you. Exactly.
True.
And I mean, growing up, everybody thought I was gonna have a baby at 15. 28, been pregnant. I really want to have a baby now, but yeah.
In
So, that's so like me. Everybody, you got to breed by year 14, by year 15, I got to breed. Okay, look at me. No kids. Soon though, next 2-3 years.
Yeah. And so I went through all of that. I would say I had other interests coming up. In high school, at university, I was doing a lot of. They've said I was an it girl. A lot of people were just like, Tasha, why are you in school and you're doing this and that? Because I used to do commercials and I was doing music videos and I was working with different
artists,
companies and just doing a lot of different things. Dexter Pottinger, still rest in peace. I worked for him a lot. So I got a lot of different things that I got through him and stuff. And so people see me on billboards and they go to some fest and they see these things and they're like, why are you at school? You're a star and you need to be here. And I never really thought much of it. I was just trying to make ends meet. I was actually since I was 18. Because for me, I never had a home place. I never had
nothing really stable and
I was on a place as a teenager, and then when I came back to Kingston after high school, I was just like, you know what? I'm getting out of this. This is me. I'm gonna start doing Tasha things. Nobody's in control of my life. I don't
have to telling you what to do.
Different things. So that was my independence. And to this day, I've never been back home or whatever home is. I've just been on my own, been trotting.
The heart is.
And I want to fast forward to landing this job. So initially, I was working in insurance. I was a receptionist. I hated the job.
Not your personality, right?
It's not my personality. And I want to touch on my personality because this isn't my personality either. I mean, it's a fighting part of me that wants to come out. And once I start, I flow and I go. Struggle to get there is probably my biggest challenge. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about tonight. I found myself rehearsing. I found myself and said, listen, I don't feel good, I can't do this again. And that has been the case for me in a lot of different things where I felt like I should have done some things to really get to a certain level of my life and to kind of really and I read the news. For me, it is an accomplishment because, like I said, I was a receptionist and I quit that job. I quit that job one day because it was just too much pretending. It was too much.
It wasn't your passion.
It was too much, trying to be or when I don't want to be there. The struggle to get out of bed to put on the clothes to go to a place like 8. And one day I just decided it was June. I decided I'm not gonna do this anymore. I quit my job. I didn't know what I was gonna do. Remember, I take care of myself, Didn't know. Didn't talk to anybody about it. Just did it. Just was just like effective immediately. I'm out of here.
Sometimes you have to make those choices, and just get up and go.
Go. So I made that choice, and like I said, I had no idea where the rent was gonna come from. I don't know. And I went out with a friend one day, and she had on some shades. And like, those are some cute shades though. You should, where you bought it. And she's like, oh, I just bought it online or whatever. I went home the night and I was like, you know what? Let me look up some shades. I can sell some shades for the
Okay,
summer.
entrepreneur.
Yes, man.
And so I bought some. Initially, I bought a dozen because I was afraid to steal. Come here, say, I'm not going to spend all of my money on shades and then they don't sell because I never
don't work out.
my life. So I bought then and the dozen went by real fast. I was like, all right, I'm gonna buy some more. So I sold the shades and the shades managed to, help me out.
It take off.
And then I was just like, you know what, I need to do something more because I feel like,
that's not enough.
Yeah, I'm trying to make sure Tasha is okay. I'm trying to make sure I'm good. So I'm like, I need to do something else. I met a friend and he decided that he was going to step away from his job a while back and he was still in insurance, but he was working on his own. So he offered me the opportunity to work with him. And so I was able to be at home and I was doing those different, tasks. I was still able to go out, do what I wanted to do because I'm a very outgoing person. I mean, if I can go out. So the TKepiphany in me is very outgoing. She's a rebel. She's very loud and she's very expressive and she don't care what you think and she's just going to be herself. Tasha knows more
reserved.
She's very reserved. And so I was able to first time I was able to be both people. I was able to be productive, do my work, and I was able to go out at night and have drinks with my friends and just have a good time and just express myself and be free. And I did that for a while. But then fear for me
is the biggest
fear and self-doubt.
Biggest roadblock.
Opportunity.
Yeah. Because now I'm just like, all right, I don't know how long I can do this for. Maybe I should try to go get a job again. So I called from Sportsmax. Didn't know what Sportsmax was. Thought they sold shoes. Said that they said they wanted a receptionist. And I'm like,
again?
A receptionist. I'm not going to do it. But the summer my mom was here and my mother is like, Tash, parents are going to be.
Yeah, that's right. Secure
Tash,
something.
Want to see what the job is about. You never know. I went into that interview and I couldn't even convince myself enough to try to convince the people I wanted the job. I didn't want to be a receptionist. And I don't know if the person interviewing me, sister, I don't want to be a receptionist because the man was just like, tell you what, you came here for a receptionist job, but we have another offer for you.
You can't read.
Didn't get there yet.
Okay.
To the main stage. The job that I got was production coordinator.
Okay.
Fancy, right? And you're
fancy name.
All right, we'll do that. Don't have no idea what that entails, but I'm doing it. I'm selling myself, and it's one thing I can do. I sell myself. I'm like, yeah, man, I could do that. I do this and whatever. I started the job. Try being a woman in a male-dominated environment. Not in the office where it's controlled. You're outdoors. You're doing a lot of stuff. Man just say what they want to say, man just do what they want to do, and you're the
cat calling you, undermining you, all kind of things.
Yeah.
You're trying your best to stay in your role and you're trying your best because at the end of the day, people don't understand that everybody's different and everybody has things that they're going through. And so they don't understand how much harder you make it for a person when they have to force themselves to step through the door to come and be productive so they can take care of themselves. And then you make it hard for them. I don't think people think for a second, how am I influencing this person, good or bad? And so I went through a lot. I went through so much.
That's okay.
What happened? Yeah. I went through so much. What if a balling? What if trying to defend myself? I've always been like that from a child because when different things happen to you, you feel like you have to defend yourself. So my inner child came out a lot on the job. So I cried a lot. I was trying to defend myself a lot, me cuss off the people them, and I use my power too, because I could send people home. Yeah, on a production and you being rude, I say, all right, go, leave. And I do that.
The road.
Hard. It was very hard for me. And I was ready to go again. I was ready to quit. And I went to my HR and I was just like, listen, I can't do this anymore. I can't get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and have men that aren't my significant other, aren't related to me, asking me with them food, with them tea, because they didn't really understand what my role was. I was there as the caregiver.
Okay.
The fact that the reason why they're there and their equipment are there is because I scheduled that, and I scheduled the fact that we needed to have a venue, and
So you are the organizer and the orchestra of everything, and they think that you're their babysitter.
To just feed them and do everything they need. Yeah.
Whatever. And I just felt like, okay, this is serious. I don't need to feel like this, because for me, while I'm on this journey of finding myself, I just feel like I'm someone important. I feel like I'm supposed to be someone big. So going through where people are just like undermining me and making me feel small, to the point where I stopped. You see how I dress up for this? I used to wear my t-shirts, one little baggy pants and some sneakers, one hat down in my face. I was gone. There was none of my personality was in that job. It's like working, and just got through. And I was just like, I can't do this anymore. I remember we had a big project. We had Budget Banton. We had that project. I went to the doctor, and the doctor told me that my blood pressure was high.
Wow.
Girl, high blood pressure, because the planning that went into that, the sleepless nights.
It was strenuous.
My manager, who told me that I didn't have working hours, when I complained about men calling me at 2:00 in the morning and antagonizing.
Excuse you.
Whoa.
And I was done. I went to my HR. Listen, pack up, I'm done. And she's like, what do you mean? And I was trying to explain to her, and she's shocked because she doesn't. It's like my story against everybody else's, and they're not they're not outside the office. They don't see these things happening. And this is me saying, no, this is my reality. And I couldn't do it anymore. And she's like, Tasha, I've been thinking, and I think you should really give this department a chance, which is scene. That's the department I'm in now. And I'm like, scene, what am I going to do there? They read the news, and then I go to the news, because for me, entertainment was always my thing. I wanted to do more entertainment things. I'm a creative. I want an outlet where I can
relate.
That's our creative. Women gonna do a right news every day. I don't want to do that. So I was like, I don't know about that. And I told her, think about it. And I went and I thought about it. And I was like, you know what? I remember the days when I said I wanted to be in media. Initially, when I went to college, I wanted to get to CARICOM. I couldn't get in. All my friends did, and I ended up doing literature. Love literature, but that's not what I wanted to do. And I said, but Tasha, you remember you used to dream about stuff like this?
And this is your option.
Used to dream about going into the media world. Used to dream about different things. And what you can't do is use it as a stepping stone. Use it as, you guys write your resume, do what you need to do. So I said, you know what, let me give it a try. When I went in there, do you know it's a thing if you were not groomed in the media world, meaning went to media school, you are not accepted. But
you are looked down on.
If you never go Paramount, right?
You don't belong. So I went into a space where everybody looking at me like, not a girl. Oh, what's she doing here? So she can write, she can read. What's she
can spell?
Struggled. Initially, when I went in there, they gave me one thing to write. I was just writing. They gave me one country. Today I do two. I do Trinidad and Barbados. They gave me one country, and nobody, they just put me down on one desk, run at the back,
and they're right.
Everybody just in there type off, and you just sit there try to figure out life.
What to do?
Yeah, I tried very hard. A lot of times when I figured it out and I thought I did and I wrote, they just dropped my story at the end of the day. Never even used my story. So there are different things that were not very motivating, that didn't, I was just like, all right, maybe I shouldn't be here. I don't belong here. And a lot of different times I was just like, why am I in this space? I don't belong in this space. I can't do this anymore. I want to get past that, fast forward. I was called into the office one day. They said that a meeting. I thought they wanted me to, I thought they were going to send and they were just like, you know what? We want to try you on the TV. We want to try you reading the news. So we're going to give you some try.
They like you. They liked you. They saw the potential
in you.
You're going to do a day. You're going to do like one night, and then we'll take it from there. And I was just like, okay, so it's pre-recorded. No, it's not recorded.
You can't make no mistake.
Don't mess up.
Live. So I went, and girl was nervous. You're in a space where you're in, everybody around you, but when that red light come on, then you have to look at that camera with that nerves text on the screen, and you're just like, but everybody I watch now, so me can't go on like me not have no chance. And I was always just feeling like I didn't belong. This is my time to shine. I need to do something. I did very well at my first go. A lot of people didn't believe it was my first time. But that's just the thing about me as well. I'm hard on myself. I'm my biggest critic. So
Mhm.
Likewise.
isn't an option. And whether or not I know what I'm doing, I'm gonna do the best
You have to find a way to do it.
I
True.
do. Because guess what? Me can't make them have nothing to talk about me, and me can't make them say, "Watch her." You know, me tell her so she not belong. She not gonna carry my.
It's
You
kind
know.
of ironic you said that. Like, I can recall when I did my first national TV interview on CVM Sunrise. Mind you, generally I get nervous, I start sweating. So before the interview, I just prep myself, say, yo, Andre, don't start sweating. But that's how we can't think for it up. And when the camera go live, I was just there, just sucking the AC and actually I did pretty good. I didn't stutter as much and I wasn't sweating. So it's just knowing that at the end of the day you have to do it. It is something you have to do. So
You have
you
to
say yourself,
overcome your
just make
fear.
the best. Exactly, I make the best of it.
Yeah. And so I want to touch on the fact that when you asked me to do this interview, you said it's about different people in the diaspora who have overcame and they're influential, they can influence other people and help people. And I said to you, I don't really think I overcame. I think I'm overcoming.
It's still a
Because
process.
You're fine. It's a part of the journey.
what I want to own. I want to and a lot of it has kept me back as well, because even in my book, I did a series back in the day called Ayana's Story, and a lot of people loved it. I wanted to do more with it, but people started to ask questions. People started to want to know Ayana and all that
Minding your
stuff,
business.
answer those questions. And so I dropped the whole thing completely. But I knew it would have
That's
been
fair.
I knew if I had pushed out there, put myself out there, it would have been something great. So the conflict with me is wanting to do so much, but being so afraid to put myself out there.
Mentally.
I will post a photo and take it back down because I'm like, what are these people thinking? I post a video of my work and want to remove it because I'm like,
The
this dude maybe
self-doubt and
self-doubt
worrying about what people think about you will kill you.
And so if every day I there's a different hurdle that I take my time and I try to get over. So I wouldn't say I've overcome, but I'm overcoming.
So you're still in the process of doing so.
I'm in the process of really just growing and becoming and trying to find my niche. Sometimes I feel like Tasha leaves TKepiphany behind, and TKepiphany is a major part of me. It's where my comes in. It's where I'm able to go. When I'm on that mic, I am somebody else. I'm free, like I belong in this space. And growing up, the different things I went through as a teenager, I wanted I'm doing psychology now, and what I want to really do is I want to contribute to young girls. I want to help a young girl to know that, all right, you're 15, 16 right now, you think this is it, life, there's nothing out there for you. I want to remind you that there's more, and you just have to keep going, even when it feels like you're all alone and you're by yourself and life don't make sense. I want to tell you also, I'm gonna figure it out at 15 or 16 because I'm 20.
Not even at 30, not even at 40. People are still figuring out life right now.
But it's what I would want, what I have and what I'd want to offer is just like help along the way. Someone you can talk to, someone that you can be, and I don't mean an adult where you're afraid to say certain things to because you're I mean, say what is real, say how
safe space.
Safe space. And so that's something that I'm trying my best to get myself to a place where I can offer that to young girls who are coming up, who are going through different things. And I didn't want to do this by being, one of those people that just want to hear themselves talk, who want to put on their makeup and them on screen. And I don't want to. I want to be as
real.
With a purpose. The parts of me that cry before she step out every day, have mental breakdown, then pat her face and go out there and smile and go.
Of course, because you're overcomer, man.
Perfect.
After I'm just done balling in the bathroom, this is me. So it's a process, and I just want to remind everyone, not just young girls, but everyone, that life is really a journey, and you don't really have to get to any special place yet. And if you're not there yet, don't even start on social media and how that makes you feel. Like, don't even focus on.
Amen. Amen.
Just keep going for you. Just own your little bubble, because I call it my little bubble. Your space, and it's in your head. It's a mental thing. Create that space in your head where you know. At the end of the day, I'm my biggest critic. I'm my comfort as well. And I want to offer that to other people as well. So not overcome. I haven't overcame, but I'm overcoming.
You're overcoming.
And that is the message that I really want to leave.
Like even when you mentioned the simple fact of being worried about what you put out on social media, like even for me, I before COVID, I have never done an IG live. But COVID happened. COVID happened, and I just decided that okay, you know what? I'm an author, I'm a writer. I want to connect with writers and showcase other writers. So I started my author's corner, and I've always had that fear that okay, if I put something out there, people will judge me, people will do this, people will say this, but at the end of the day, guess what? People are gonna say what they want to say, regardless. You can be doing 100% good, they're gonna find something negative
and critique
to say, to critique and say. So at the end of the day, it's just about doing it. And once you're living in your purpose and doing what feels good to you, it just like a flow naturally. And that's just it. Like we're doing this program now, and it's just to just show people say, well, guess what? We're all humans. We all have situations we go
Everybody
through.
mess up at times.
Exactly.
We go through challenges. All you've been speaking about, that you're trying to find a balance in your life between your alter ego and yourself. And throughout all of this, you're still talking about you want to gain confidence. And I think that's what a lot of girls, it's not instilling us when we were younger. And they're very much more confident than I am, because in the poorer households, we learn a lot about self-doubt. But you trying to push through, it's very beautiful. And thank you so much for sharing.
You mentioned that you're creative, but and that you actually started writing a book. Like, do you plan on picking that back up, or what's the plan for that?
I actually do. I have everything is written out. After finish, I have it like the whole thing. It's just to put it out there. But in the meantime, I do have a blog. The link is actually in my bio on my Instagram. And there's a lot of people, they see the content, they don't know it's me. Most of the stuff that you see, the quotes on my page and stuff, are written by me.
Nice.
So, so this is something I really do tap into. I have my SoundCloud as well, where I voice my poetry.
Nice.
Well, so it's just for me to come out and really show those sides of me, because people not going to know just looking at me. Because initially you introduced me as a news anchor and a journalist, but there's so much more.
Creative, exactly.
That part out there. So that's my challenge to myself, and that's something I hope when we talk again, Andre, Marshall, I put the book out, and you guys kind of
looking forward to that.
Yes, definitely.
Pick up yourself. And thank you so much again. Thank you, Roberta Fresh Air. Thank you so much.
And
guys, check her out on social media.
You put out the quotes, because at the end of the day, like, as you put out the quotes, it might not resonate with everybody, but whoever needs to hear that message at that point in time, it will definitely stand out for them. So keep
have an audience.
Keep on doing good work, for sure.
Okay.
For sure.
Can you leave your social media ads and where we can find you, please, Tasha?
Okay, no problem. So on Instagram, I am _TKepiphany, and that's TKepiphany. And I also have my work content on a separate page as well, and that is Let's Talk with TKepiphany.
Okay.
My SoundCloud, everything is TKepiphany. My SoundCloud is TKepiphany. .com. My blog is TKepiphany. That is in my link in my bio. So once you go on my Instagram, find my content there.
Thank you.
But before you do go, like do you do any kind of outreach? Because you did mention that you want to work with the young girls. So like, are you doing anything like that, or what's your plans in regards to that?
I haven't started. I don't even know how to start. I would
start. That's how you start.
Social media.
The way to start is to start. If it's even to, they have this stay free thing going on. Even if you buy some pad carried on one of them homes, they start somewhere. Sometimes we think that we have to do something rigid by getting a plan and everything. Just start. That's all. That would be my advice. Just start. Or ask questions.
I would definitely talk some more, because I could definitely introduce you to an option in regards to doing that. So we'll talk some more about that.
That'd be great. I'd appreciate that. That sounds great.
So, On behalf of our program, we'd like to say thank you again. Bless up, all the best with what you're doing. Continue to grow, continue to
overcome.
Whatever you're doing. Life is a journey, it's a challenge, and I'm sure many persons, even the most persons that have achieved the most in life, are still overcoming challenges and still going through things. So you're not alone. Thank you so much and have a fabulous evening. Bless up yourself, Andre, and bye, guys.
Have a great one. All right, blessings.
Bye, guys.